Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm joined with Tdawgsmitty here.
What's going on, everybody?
So today we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be doing basically a question and answer over our kind of gaming history. We got some questions planned out that we're both going to be answering. They're pretty cool. Let's jump right into it.
I'm just trying to live right, live right.
Alrighty guys, so we got our questions all loaded up and ready to go, and we're gonna start Tyler off. He's gonna ask me the first question. We're gonna kind of switch off a little bit and just go from there.
Cool. So this is gonna be a tough one for you, maybe. It's your first gaming memory.
See, that's tough. But there's this one particular thing where I remember when the 360 first came out, the Xbox 360. My brother had got it, and it was like a combo with like a Kung Fu Panda and like Lego Indiana Jones, and like this was like, man, I was like 9 maybe. That was old Jake the Man 3000 days. But he got that. I just remember it's kind of weird that I remember we picked it up from Best Buy, and we came home, and I remember I was just like begging. I was like, Garrett, I have got to play this Lego Indiana Jones. But my favorite memory was we both kind of sat down and played some of that, and that was really fun for me.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
So for me, my first game memory, I don't know if you remember Uncle Steve, but
I have no idea who Uncle Steve is.
You might have met him once. But anyway, he actually gave me a Nintendo 64 way back when it was probably a little old, but it was still a great gift. And actually, he gave me N64 with GoldenEye. So the first memory I have is getting that N64 down there, playing GoldenEye, and boy, was that a great game.
I remember playing at like Uncle Dean's that one time we had like GoldenEye and all that running.
Yeah,
That was
not as good as it looked though back in whatever
looked
year it was.
horrible. It was hard.
Blockheads.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we got a quick question here. It is the first game system that you have ever bought.
So like I just said, I got given the N64, so I didn't buy that myself. I actually, back when the older systems were still, GameStop still took them. I don't know if they still do now, but I actually put together.
Like $1.
They gave me $1. But back then, I traded in my N64 and my Super Nintendo, and I put that towards buying a Nintendo GameCube with my own funds. My first system that I ever bought was a Nintendo GameCube. Wow is right.
Yeah, that's a good console. I remember. Technically the first one I got was an Xbox 360, but I remember playing the PS2, the GameCube, the Legends, playing some fun games on there. But definitely the first one I actually bought was a 360, probably when I was like 11 or 12, because I always kind of like shared off of Garrett's and kind of begged him to let me play on his console.
Let's give a quick shout out to Garrett the Man.
Garrett the Man. Wait, G Money? No,
yeah, it was Garrett the Man 123, wasn't it?
It's something like that. And
Yeah.
then he had a new one. It was like Gold Trash or something like that.
Gold Money.
Gold Trash. I think that's what it was.
Next question, just feeding off the first game system you bought, you probably had to buy a game with it.
Yeah.
Which game did you buy?
So first off, when I first got my console, like it was kind of crappy, but I bought it off at eBay, and it came with like 15, 20 games on there. I remember one of the big ones was Guitar Hero, which
that was a fun game.
That's a legend in itself.
Yeah.
But I remember I've already played these games, but MW3 was one that was on there, and Modern Warfare 2, and then definitely Modern Warfare 2 was a game that I played quite often, but definitely some of the first ones that I played and like acquired was definitely the MW3 and Modern Warfare 2, maybe a couple little Madden games, but definitely stuck with the Call of Duty feel.
For me, I can't remember the first one because obviously it was a GameCube game.
Right.
But I want to say it was an NBA game called NBA Courtside 2002.
So they had NBA games on the GameCube?
They had like one, and it was a Kobe Bryant one, and I'm pretty sure that's what I bought. I could be wrong, but that's the memory I have in my head.
Yeah, the only time I remember like playing the basketball games, I remember playing it on the PS2.
PS2.
There was
NBA
like,
Live.
There was just like Street one.
NBA Street.
It was like Street Jam
That
or like
was a
something.
great game. Great game.
And like you got to choose like your team and like play like quick little game, dude. And it was like super easy too.
Yes. Fun
It was
game.
fun.
Super fun.
Alrighty guys, so the next question here is the worst game that you have ever, I guess, gotten or like noticed that has happened, or like a big letdown in the game that you bought.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier, and we might have the same answer, but for me, it's going to be the latest Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, Battlefront, the original, the real Battlefront 2, came out.
Oh, baby.
I want to say 2005 when the Revenge of the Sith came out.
Yeah,
At the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of my greatest times of gaming. That was such a great game. And when I was expecting Battlefront 2 to kind of give me those same memories,
Oh, yeah.
and it did not.
Yeah, I remember playing those two on the PS2, the PS2. It was
Yep.
the Battlefront 1 and 2, and those were really fun. I remember playing that when you'd come down.
Great game.
Yeah.
Both of them. And then when that one came out, it just didn't give me the same effect. They had the whole credits thing. There was a big scandal around that
Oh,
game.
yeah.
So that was unfortunately let down.
Mm-hmm. For me, it'd probably have to be Advanced Warfare. That game was... I think where they went wrong is they basically took what they had always done and always did so well in and just literally just butchered it. And like they threw in these jetpacks and exosuits and like you were just hopping around and it felt like some sort of like, it didn't even feel like Call of Duty anymore. It was like a whole new game in itself, to be honest. But for me, that game, I bought that and I remember first getting it, I was just like so disappointed. I think that might have been like the first Call of Duty that like I really pre-ordered and was like super hyped for. And another one I feel like everybody realizes, and like I remember Titanfall when that jump was coming out, dude, like they like overhyped it. It was coming in on every console, but like when it came out, it just died off.
Yep.
I don't know what the heck happened.
Yep, it just wasn't that good of a game.
No, it was pretty bad.
All right, well, we just talked about the worst. We got to have a favorite.
Exactly.
Give it to me. What's your favorite game?
All right, so we might, have the same one. We have quite a few memories built into this Call of Duty, but it's actually Call of Duty World at War. There is so much to say about this in such little time. This game was, I feel like it was a big start into what everything else adapted onto eventually, not counting what they've been doing in the recent Call of Duties has been a little interesting. But definitely World at War. I remember having so many memories playing that back in the day with you. And I mean, I don't even know why I was allowed to play that at 8 years old.
Yeah, a little gory, but we snuck it. We snuck it in.
Yeah, we did.
I'm just gonna tie right off that, and like you said, that was definitely my favorite game of all time. The only one that could come close would be Halo 3.
Yeah, Halo 3 was pretty good.
They kind of came out the same time period, but like you said, Call of Duty World at War, so much you could say about that game. So fun, the maps, the guns, the realism, the voice actors, the campaign, the first time playing zombies. I mean, and then you have all of us playing together, like friends and a whole group. It was awesome. Good time.
Yeah, we were talking in the car earlier, like one of the big things people get consoles is just like to kind of join together and get to talk to your buds, but not having to like, you can't drive out anywhere, but that way you kind of all get to come together. It's really fun getting to do that. And for me, like a close second for me is definitely Halo. I feel like when Halo 3 came out, I felt like they were kind of in a little bit of a battle between Halo and Call of Duty until Halo kind of dropped off, and then it was more like Battlefield versus Call of Duty.
Yep.
And a close second definitely would be the Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3.
Absolutely.
Those were pretty good. And the Black Ops series, obviously.
Tough to beat those.
Yeah.
Call of Duty as a whole is
you-
tough to beat for us.
Yeah, definitely. The earlier ones that came out were just, you can't say nothing but good things about them.
Not one bad thing.
So definitely a big thing. You can play all these games, but you gotta have a system. What is it?
So PS4 right now is a great system, but I think favorite system of all time for me is going to be the 360. I think I had the most fun on there. I think the games were great. I feel like they never let me down on that system, and it was just a simpler time, as they say, where you plug the game in and it worked right away.
There was download it and wait like 5 hours.
Not 50 gig download, and then there was an update every 5 seconds. It was like, all right, you put the game in and you played it at midnight. It was fun.
Yeah.
So I have a ton of memories with 360, and they're all good. Except for there was one with the red ring, but I never got the red ring, so I can't complain.
I got that chunk. I had to buy a second Xbox.
I never got it. So Xbox 360, you're my favorite.
Yeah, definitely for me would be that 360. Like you were saying, there's so many good games that I feel like so many games now are like overhyped and they're just trash, and they really suck, to be blatant with you. But I feel like on the 360, everything was so like, if it was coming out and it was getting hyped, like it was gonna be good.
Yep. So we got a lot of games out there, and if you're like me, you can't play every single one. Although I'd love to, maybe one day.
I wish I could.
But what is one game that you've never played but you wish you'd take the time, sit down and play it, campaign, multiplayer, any of that?
So one game that's kind of getting a lot of hype right now is definitely Red Dead Redemption 2, and I feel like I never played the original one, and I feel like I need to go back and play that because now, I mean, everybody's playing that, and and the game looks great, and it's like
It's a good game.
yeah, it looks to be like more of a Western kind of GTA feel to it because it's made by Rockstar as well. They make some pretty cool stuff, but definitely would be going back through and playing the original Red Dead Redemption. That game looks pretty sick.
Solid choice. I just got that one, and the first one was really good too. So if you ever play them at the same time, like play one, then play two,
I gotta do that.
It's great. For me, I want to say the Fallout series, just because I hear so many good things about it, and I just joined the PlayStation Nation, as they call it, about a year ago.
This is where we disagree.
So the Fallout series has never been really something that I don't know. I feel like PlayStation does more of a Fallout thing.
Yeah.
But I never really got into Fallout. So I've seen you play it before, and it looks like it's a fun time. But I'm more of a multiplayer guy, so that's why 76 looks so appealing to me.
Yeah, that's one thing I'd have to knock about that game is because like all the other ones, they were like you played them by yourself, and it's like that's a game where you gotta grind a lot and you play countless hours to actually get close to 100%ing that game. And one thing I feel like they did well with the 76 is everybody wants multiplayer. Nobody wants to sit at the desk and just play it. But they want to have people around them to play it with, and I feel like that's a good step that they made with 76 was getting to have all your friends together playing this really fun game. I feel like it really would be so much better to have it in a multiplayer platform rather than just playing by yourself.
Yep.
So there are so many great games out there, and I mean they wouldn't be the same without the players. What's your favorite character of all time in the video game?
So if you were born, I'm born in '92. So I grew up with Halo and Call of Duty, so you know one of my choices is going to be that. I got to go with the Chief over at Halo. I just don't think you can beat that guy as a main character.
Mystery man.
Mystery, awesome. All the campaigns were great. We'll kind of forget about Halo 5 and just kind of go about it. We'll ignore that away, but he's an awesome character. I've been playing as him since, my goodness, Halo 1, which was 2003.
Right.
So I think that is definitely number one for me.
Yeah, the Master Chief, he was always pretty cool because he was like that mystery character, and like I guess you could envision what you thought he looked like. I always thought he was just some big, like, just massive, Jack dude, like probably like a buzzed haircut.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like this massive deep boy, you know. And like I feel like it's cool having a character like that you never actually get to see, but you can kind of imagine like who you want like under the mask.
Yeah.
You know who your own character is, but you know, now that I think about it, I thought of one I was gonna say, but I'm gonna say two because it's hard to think of just one.
It's tough.
So out of the Call of Duty series, I was a big fan of Modern Warfare 2, and there's this character called Ghost that was in the campaign, and I don't know what it was about him, but like I don't know if it was just because he died or something, but
Spoiler alert.
yeah, exactly. It's rough. So like you're in this house and you're like you're getting a server or something or whatever, and you finally get, or you're holding down a point, you finally get it, and you're like, oh, you gotta get to the chopper or whatever, you know? And you're running, and then all of a sudden you get shot up really bad, and then you've got Ghost, and he's like dragging you, and you're like shooting with your pistol like enemies down, and he's just dragging you after the helicopter, and you know, it lands, and then this dude, the main guy, Shepard, like the, I guess, major or officer or whatever in that situation, came out and was just like, oh, good work, and he pulled out that deagle and he just shot us both. I mean, it hurt.
Yeah, it hurt.
And then, man, that sad violin was rolling, and just how the scene went, they just threw us in the dirt, they set us on fire. And
Press F to pay respect.
exactly.
Today we answered a bunch of video game questions. We appreciate you tuning in, and along here with Jake Stein 3000. We appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. We want to make sure he reaches 100 subs ASAP. He's all over. He does Call of Duty. He does gaming. He does life. So he's got a cool channel popping in there. Appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see you next time.
I'm just tryna live right, live right.